Guys, day one of the NCAA tournament is in the books. Man, what a great day of college basketball. I say it's in the books. Gonzaga and Kennesaw State are still playing. I've got it on here. Kennesaw State fought hard, but they're going to come up a little short here. Um, but hey, it's been a great day of college basketball. These 2 days, Thursday and Friday of the NCAA tournament, the first round, my favorite sports days of the year. Really, really great day. Um, I just want to break down a few of the games here. There's some things going on here in the first round. Look, game of the day was Wisconsin and High Point. High Point with the huge upset. This was the upset of the day, a 12 over 5. It happens every single year, a 12 beating a 5, and it happened again. High Point was really, really impressive. I think their record's like 30 and 31 and 5 now. We said for Wisconsin this was going to be one of the toughest games for them. If they can get past this game, we said watch out for them, but they didn't get past this game. It just seems this year Wisconsin has kind of played down to competition and played up to competition. And we saw that happen again today. And not that High Point's a bad team. I'm just saying, like, compared to, the teams they played in the Big Ten, you know, High Point is not on par with a lot of those teams like Purdue or Michigan and Michigan State and Illinois. And so, anyways, Wisconsin lost, and man, High Point's impressive. They're going to be a tough team to beat here for even for Arkansas in the second round. I'm excited to see how that game plays out. Man, they are just lethal from the 3 point line. I mean, they were just hitting huge buckets down the stretch, man. They are really, really good on the offensive end. Won that game 83-82. It was a back and forth game. Wisconsin seemed like they were going to pull away at times, but High Point just kept making huge basket after huge basket. So, congrats to High Point. I think that's their first NCAA tournament win. That was an awesome, awesome game. I think the second best game of the day was VCU in North Carolina. Man, I had North Carolina in this game. Also had Wisconsin in the Wisconsin High Point games. I did really bad today, guys. Really bad in my bracket. But I had North Carolina beating VCU, and really that was the pick, I think. They were the better team, North Carolina was. They dominated most of this game, but they just kept letting VCU chip away and hang around. I think North Carolina was up by like 16 or 17 at one point. Like they really had this game in hand and just absolutely choked it away. Just down the stretch, just going cold, and also just missing free throws and turnovers, and it was just an ugly, ugly scene for North Carolina, and they're headed home. But hats off to VCU for continuing to fight in this game. I mean, that was impressive to see because I mean, I'm thinking like I texted Dalton. I said, "Look, listen, if VCU beats North Carolina, then I'll buy you lunch. And if North Carolina beats VCU, he said, I'll buy you lunch." And of course, they came back and beat North Carolina. So, man, they've got a player, Hill, Hill Junior. He comes off the bench and he scored 34 points. This dude is a stud. He's, I think, the leading scorer off the bench in the whole country or something like that. Man, just so good. But that was a great game. Went to OT. Made VCU just made some really good plays down the stretch. So really, really good games there. Those were the two big upsets and the two best games of the day. Aside from that, there wasn't too much more shocking things that went on. Like Texas A&M St. Mary's is technically an upset, a 10 over a 7, but like St. Mary's loses every single year in the first or second round, and they did it again to 10 seed Texas A&M by 13. They lost. I mean, they got dominated, just dominated from start to finish. So not much to say there really. I'm, I'm really a couple things that I'm kind of surprised by here are, the 16 seeds. Both 16 seeds, Siena and Howard, fought really hard. Now Howard ended up losing by 21, but they were in that game for well over. I mean, the whole first half. They only were down by 3 at halftime, and even into the second half, they were really fighting against Michigan. Ran out of gas there. Siena though, only losing to Duke by 6, guys. I mean, like this was, you know, projected to be through like a 20-point game or whatever it was. I don't even know what the spread was, but I'm sure it was close to 20, if not over 20. And my goodness, these guys just fought. They had a 13-point lead in this game, Siena did. By the way, they played 5 players the entire game. There was only 1 minute, I think, or less that a guy from the bench got in. So like pretty much the starters played the whole game. I think they just ran out of gas at the end. They went cold towards the end, and Duke was just too much towards the end there. Um, but man, these 16 seeds fought hard. And man, I'm just so shocked at Siena. I don't think Siena should have been a 16 seed, but still, they definitely weren't much higher than that, maybe a 15 at most. But man, hats off to these guys for fighting in these games and taking these one seeds, giving them a challenge here in the first round. And part of me thinks this is going to be like a wake up call for Duke. Like they're going to realize, hey, we got to get some things together, and they're just going to go on a tear and get to the Final Four. But part of me is also like, well, maybe they've been exposed a little bit, and now if Siena can stick with them and almost beat them, certainly TCU can. You know, um, and talking about really good games, a minute ago I kind of skipped over TCU Ohio State. That was probably right up there with those other two games in terms of really good games today. Technically, again, an upset, 9-8, but not really a big one here. I don't consider those upsets really, but a really good game. TCU raced out to a big lead, and it looked like they were going to run away with it. Ohio State crawled back in it. I picked Ohio State. I thought they were going to win. They were up by like 5 or 6 late in the second half and just choked it away. And TCU made the right plays down the stretch and won that game. And the look Ohio State got at the end was terrible, but that was another really good game. TCU, I think, could give Duke fits. They've had some big wins this year. They beat Florida this year. So you got to watch out for the TCU Duke game. Um, Another shocking game, Texas beats BYU 11-6. That was another big upset. Texas really, I mean, it was an 8-point game, but like really it was bigger than that. Like Texas pretty much dominated this game, and BYU pretty much only had Davansa. Nobody else really showed up in that game. So those are some of I guess, the highlights of the first round. Some of the other games you'd expect, like Houston destroyed Idaho, Illinois destroyed Penn, Nebraska destroyed Troy, although I picked Troy for the upset. I really thought they'd compete better just because of, they beat San Diego State this year and almost beat USC. So they got obliterated. Vanderbilt beat McNeese. That was a solid game. Listen, I want to say I think the team I'm most shocked by is St. Louis in this first round. I picked Georgia to beat them in an 8-9 matchup, and they obliterated Georgia 102-77. I was really, really impressed by them. They have a great record. I think only 4 or 5 losses on the season. They made it as an at-large team. They didn't win their conference tournament. Man, they just destroyed Georgia 102-77. Their offense was like a machine. I am really curious to see if they can keep that going against Michigan. I'm sure Michigan will put up a little bit more resistance, but like, man, they looked good. They really, really shocked me. Putting up 102, that's really impressive on an SEC team. Um, Man, that's probably my team that I'm most surprised by in that first round. That looked the best to me. Just really, really impressive performance there. Michigan State could be up there too. Just there was no doubt with them beating North Dakota State. South Florida came up short against Louisville. I picked South Florida, and they just, lackluster in the first half and couldn't crawl back in it. So, there was a lot of excitement here in this first round. I'm looking forward to the second day, and I'm thinking some upsets are coming here in the next day. I hope it's not that Hofstra Alabama game. But an interesting one that a lot of people are picking is Akron over Texas Tech. But I am expecting one really big upset tomorrow. I don't know what it's going to be, but that's what I'm predicting. This was a really good first day. Really, really good first day, and some really cool second round matchups like Vanderbilt and Nebraska. That's a great one. Um, that's going to be a really, really cool game. Louisville, Michigan State's intriguing as well. High Point, Arkansas, Duke, TCU, we've talked about. These are some intriguing second round matchups. What a great first day, though, guys. I'm really looking forward to the second day. I'm going to watch a bunch of games tomorrow as well. So appreciate you tuning in, and look forward to another day of March Madness tomorrow.